Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
I know that was an aggressive opener for the fake news, but I am on fucking fire today. Like, I am really, really fucking hot today. I don't even care. We're not supposed to say the word fuck in the first 90 seconds of the show. Sorry, you two, but I am angry today. Look, Dan and I always call him like we see him. We try to be fair and honest on both sides. If Republicans fuck up, we'll tell them to go fuck themselves, like Lindsey Graham and other people. If Democrats fuck up, we'll tell them to go fuck themselves as well. Now, same goes with his AMC sitch. We were all in on this. Abe Strong, diamond hands, laser eyes, until AMC decided to fuck all of us this morning. This whole thing with the Reddit and the meme stocks and all this shit was to get back at the hedge funds and all that other bullshit, right? However, AMC this morning decided to take it upon themselves and fuck their own shareholders during all of this magic that was going on through the fucking roof. Now, I've been investing in stocks for somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 years. My parents let me do it as a kid just to kind of get used to like finances and all that shit. We didn't have much money, so it wasn't a lot of fucking money. It was like $20 here and there. Big fucking deal. I know Mark Cuban does the same for his kids as well. I think it is a valuable lesson on managing your money for the future, especially at a young age. So you get used to all of this shit so you don't get swept up in it. With that being said, there was a time where I think it was my dad possibly that owned an airline stock, and then obviously 9/11 happened. It literally fell to the ground, and then they ended up just shutting down the stock markets. Now they've implemented this thing called a stop quote or a limit. Like, it'll tell you exactly which price you want to get out of there. That way, in case there is something really fucked up that happens, it'll electronically just do it for you. My rule of thumb has always been 33%. If a stock crashes 33% in one day, chances are something really fucked up happened. Well, to my chagrin, when I woke up this morning with AMC, we have it set on 33%. It said, hey, Ross, you've stopped out and you sold the price, sold it for $1 more than Dan had guessed the number at, which was 40. He said Dan said he was gonna the stock of AMC was probably gonna go to 40. I agreed because that was kind of the pre-pandemic numbers, and we thought it would come back. So I just set it for 41. That was exactly 33% from where it was yesterday. Now, I was expecting it to be something else, something in the Reddit community or something else. Not AMC selling 11.4 million shares to make more money off of other people versus, hey, we're just going to save a company and have a good time. Fuck you, AMC. Like, dude, you clearly did this on purpose in the middle of the goddamn night, and you did it in the morning right when the market went off to fuck over all the investors in there. So all the people that had money in there who were riding your fucking stock through the moon, you just said, meh, I'd really like to take advantage of that and just offer more shares to dilute the fucking stock so you guys can get rich. Now that I'm not cool with. Obviously, we got in early on this shit. We paid a bunch of money. We bought some ringside seats for the fucking Mayweather fights. Turned a meme into a meme, and it's awesome. When you check out, because I'm with Merrill Edge, and this is a feature that I enjoy. A lot of most stock companies do it. You get on there, and it says, when you check out, when you're done, they go, do you want to pay that 41% capital gains tax? The answer is yes. There was one year that I did not do that, and that was not smart, and the IRS definitely made me pay for that in the future. So I paid the tax and moved on with our life. We're going ringside for Mayweather, and we're having a good time with it. I'm just pissed off that AMC decided to do this and literally not tell anyone. They didn't hold a vote on their board. They didn't do shit. They just woke up and said, we're fucking doing it. Go fuck yourself to everybody who believed in this stock. Giorgio, I don't know what it's at today. If you can look it up, that'd be great.
Rob's looking it up right now. It is at how much?
56.62. It was pretty fucking wild day, actually. Dropped to 40, got all the way back up to 69 or 68, and now it's kind of steadied out in the mid-50s.
So here's my question. Rob, you stayed in it with us. We are out now because it stopped out. It was a stop quote out of it. Did you stay in or did you get out of there during that panic this morning?
I actually got out late yesterday at about $62, $63.
Great.
So I was up about $8K.
That's great. And look, you always got to know when to hold them and fold them and all that other bullshit that Kenny Rogers says. R.I.P. Obviously. I don't know what to do at this point. Like, you know, I'm going to ask you, Dan, what you think is going to happen with this stock, because what's to stop AMC now from selling even more shares if this thing keeps going fucking higher?
Right. I mean, it's not altogether dumb on their part. It's not dumb at all, actually. I mean, it's the optics are bad, but if they, for some reason, believe that all this shit with China is going to fuck up their future, or if theaters aren't going to come back to where they were before, because look, they're probably going to have to start paying a premium to get people to take these jobs. We've seen it in almost every labor market in the country. All the people in these major fucking metropolitan areas that have been getting these fucking movie checks, this free money from the government, this whole time, they're not going back to work. You know what I mean? They're not. So that's one issue, that they're not going to be able to fucking staff these things with 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds or whatever the fuck anymore and pay them minimum wage or whatever. So they're going to lose revenue there. If they don't think the original revenue is coming back, this might be a good time to dump all this stuff, right? So they're effectively dumping the shares in their own company.
They also needed to raise $230 million for an acquisition that they're trying to do. So like this is a multifaceted thing. One, Dan is completely correct when I think if the stock is at a certain price where it's high enough for them to sell out to increase capital to move the company forward, it's a good idea for the business. They're trying to acquire Pacific Theaters, all of their locations, and the ArcLight, and possibly the Dome as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, these would be prime real estate in Los Angeles. If we're talking, you know, theater, if we're talking big Hollywood movies, you know, these are great locations for them to have, and also keeps any of the big studios from acquiring these and only being able to put their movies there, which is actually good as far as like the free market of filmmaking goes, that one of the studios don't get to dominate or one of the streaming services don't get to dominate. Because right now we're talking about two things: the experience of in-home viewing and the experience of going out to a theater and watching. Like, obviously the ArcLight was one of the best examples of that, where you can go out and have a really good experience and a really good time. And I don't think that's going away. Like people saying that theaters are dying, I think there's still going to be a want and a need for those. And if AMC can acquire some of these big locations, who's to say the stock can't go even higher in 6 months to a year?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if they're trying to corner market share, if they're trying to dilute capital, or I'm sorry, dilute their own shares for capital to do purchasing, that's not very rare. That's actually something that happens frequently.
They did it on Wednesday too.
Yeah.
They did it with Murdoch or whatever the fuck that hedge fund is. They sold a shit ton of shares to them, and then the hedge fund it jumped up like $5-6, and then the hedge fund turned around and sold it and was like, AMC's overvalued, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Like it was like, hey Bob, it was like 6 hours later on that one. And the reason why I wanted to open with this is we always try to be honest with you guys about this shit and everything that goes on. And dude, it stopped out for us today. Whether or not we get back in, we'll make a group decision later on. But we did well and all this other shit. I understand, Giorgio, everything that you're saying. And yes, those would be great things for the company itself. However, you should have told the fucking shareholders, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and then here's a date we're going to execute it on. You don't do it less than 8 hours after the stock jumps 102% with all of these people that helped your company. Let them in on it and let them know what's going on. And yeah, that's the issue I have with it. But, you know, as much as I rail on the fucking hedge funds and all that other shit, you also have to rail on them as well of like, hey, be honest about what you're doing with your company. Don't fucking sneakily do it in the middle of the morning and then not tell anybody, because that shit, everybody just kind of woke up to that today, and there was no vote on the board or anything else. Now, if they are going to buy ArcLight and all that other stuff, Pacific Theaters, those were my favorites. I obviously know those theaters from Los Angeles. I love the Cinerama Dome and all that stuff. The real estate is really, really fucking expensive. Come out and say that, and this is why we're doing it. We're going to buy it and everything else, and I agree with it. I also agree with the fact that, yes, studios would have a monopoly if they own the theaters. Amazon was very, very, very close when it was teetering around $4, to buying all of AMC, putting their films in there, probably acquiring MGM like they did a couple weeks ago, showing all their movies so they can own theater, streaming, the whole entire process. And yes, that would have been a fucking complete monopoly and terrible for the movie industry. This price now is too high that they probably can't afford that. So it is what it is. I'm just really pissed off about it because, dude, all of these people that helped you ape strong get to the number that you wanted and get you out of debt and save your company, tell them what the fuck you're going to do. Don't just wake up in the morning and be like, bing, we're going to sell more stocks and fuck you guys.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, like, let's be honest about this. This wasn't so much a group of rallying people to save the theaters as much as it was, we saw GameStop, let's get in. Like, we're all hungry for blood and we want to take these hedge funds for all we can. Like, these are just people who were honestly trying to get rich. Like, I don't think how they really cared about saving the movie theaters that much. This just happened to be the stock that they can go in on and go to the moon with.
Either way, I saw, just an hour ago, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, which I'm a gigantic Shark Tank fan. Obviously, we saw the Gronkowski brothers on there, and we did their products. Dan, talk about that box real quick. Jack did the unveiling of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know much about it, but it's Cartamax, Sean Matson's company, teamed up with a jerky company. I don't remember the name of it. What the fuck was the name of that jerky company? Anybody? It's on our. We posted the video. It's on the video.
Yeah, it was really good, and they put a bunch of stuff together. The Gronkowski's ice shaker is in there. Just a bunch of cool shit, and like.
And the proceeds are going to the Independence Fund.
Yes.
Which is an organization that my friend Sarah Berardo runs, and it is they build and provide off-road tracked wheelchairs for disabled veterans, basically. So that's where the proceeds are going.
Okay, right on. Awesome.
And the beef jerky company
they were on
is
Shark
called
Tank,
Wicked,
and
Wicked Cuts.
Mr. Wonderful was on today talking about the AMC stock and everything else, and he said, look, he was the only professional person who said, I'm amped about all of this stuff. He goes, even if you are saving these shitty companies, it starts a movement to get people to stop shorting stocks. And that's why I love it. That's why I've always loved it in the first place. Whenever you're shorting a stock and betting on it to fail, I think that's just shitty because a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. But however, we are out of this. The other bit of house cleaning at the top is shout out to Dr. Frank. Back on a flight tomorrow, hopefully. I know there's crazy storms in Austin again or in Texas again. When I was there, he gave me an autographed J.K. Dobbins helmet, game worn, game used. Go Buckeyes. And J.K. Dobbins actually liked the picture on my Instagram today, so I was pretty stoked about that. Shout out to Dr. Frank. That was really fucking cool. And Dan, he got you something as well that I'm bringing back to Texas that you're going to be amped about.
Oh, boy. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't, unless it's drugs. I mean, to be honest, the chances of me being excited about it are very slim.
This one you will be. And we talked about that. I said, look, is it drugs? Because I don't know if Dan's going to be happy if it's drugs. And he goes, close. He goes, let's just say, because he listens to the show all the time. He goes, let's just say it's something. There's a handful of things that Dan likes in this world. It is one of those things.
It's drugs then, because I only like drugs. Which is great.
It is not drugs.
Well, then we'll see.
Not drugs.
This our friendship with Dr. Frank depends on this gift now. Like if he fucked it up, then I'm pretty much done.
We'll do it live on air next week, an unveiling of it, if you will. Next up, Dan, you want to give a shot at this name? Is this Uyghur?
Uyghur.
Yeah.
Uyghur Muslims that we always talk about.
Oh, yeah. They're the ones that are being tortured in China.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot lately about China and the American politicians, business people, athletes, and actors who constantly either ignore or excuse their behavior because it's profitable for them to do so. Just wanted to take a closer look at some real-world examples of what they're supporting. So, as I've mentioned before, there are 1,200 active concentration camps that hold Uyghur Muslims in China. 3 Uyghur Muslims who have fled China to Turkey have spoken to the Associated Press ahead of a tribunal that's happening, describing some of the forced abortions, torture, etc., that's happening in the Xinjiang region of China. And excuse me, I'm going to detail some of those now. So 3 witnesses include a mother of 4. I'll never be able to say her name, but it's looks like Boomeram or something. Razi, R-O-Z-I. She said authorities in Xinjiang rounded her up along with other pregnant women in 2007 and forced them into abortions at 6.5 months pregnant. And another person that was interviewed, a former doctor who spoke of draconian birth control policies, and a former detainee who alleged he was, quote, tortured day and night by Chinese soldiers while he was imprisoned in remote border region. So, the woman whose abortion was forced said the following: "They first gave me a pill and said to take it, so I did. I didn't know what it was. And then half an hour later, they came back. They put a needle in my belly, and sometime after that, I lost my child."
Jesus Christ.
The doctor, Simsinur Gaffer, I believe is how you say that, a former obstetrician and gynecologist who worked in village hospitals in Xinjiang in the 1990s, said she and other female clinicians used to go from house to house with a mobile ultrasound machine to check if anyone was pregnant. She said if a household had more births than allowed, they would raze the home, they would flatten the house, destroy it. This was my life there. It was very distressing. And because I worked in a state hospital, people didn't trust me. The Uyghur people saw me as a Chinese traitor. The tribunal that's being held it's not been commissioned by the UK government where it's happening. It's going to be chaired by the very prominent human rights attorney, Jeffrey Nice, who, if you remember, led the prosecution of ex-Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic back in the day. The findings of this tribunal have no legal weight whatsoever. They are to determine whether or not there's been whether or not this is to be considered genocide. So
why are they considering that? And it's not just, I mean, it's pretty much genocide.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just a formality of sorts, but I want John Cena and LeBron James, the NBA, Hollywood in general to look at this shit.
Are they going to, or is there just too much money out there?
Well, what they say,
making videos. LeBron James is fucking he's gonna lose tonight, and he's out of the playoffs, thankfully.
What they say when asked about it, this is what LeBron James said during the Daryl Morey thing. He called Daryl Morey ignorant and misinformed on the situation about China at the time. And then LeBron went on to say that he doesn't know enough about it to comment on it. But he knew enough to call Daryl Morey ignorant and misinformed, just not enough to say that concentration camps are bad.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes you wonder where his allegiances lie. It's certainly not to humanity. Certainly not. It's not to distressed minorities, for sure. Only when it can earn him political points. Only when it can convince black people in America to buy his fucking sneakers and to watch his fucking movies. But when it's people across the world that don't have anything to offer him, he's got nothing from his platform to offer them. This man is a piece of shit.
Yeah, and this isn't going to change at all, his stance or anything else, because he's got Space Jam 2 coming out, and let's face it, that's going to open up in China first, and they are depending on that money. LeBron James is doing full court press, literally, on this film, and he will be everywhere promoting it, including China. There's two things that China loves: basketball and movies. So this is a basketball movie that they are doing. God knows what the numbers will be over there. And I can promise you this: all of Hollywood isn't going to say one fucking word about any of these concentration camps or anything else, because there's too much fucking money to be made. And that's it. John Cena, Look, will there be a backlash against him when Fast and Furious 9 comes out in theaters here in America? I actually doubt it. I was thinking about it last night. I don't think there will be. I think that people don't know enough about what's going on in China. Like, for example, me, I did not know the exact statistics over there. You've told me that this has been going on for a while, but I don't know it unless we do a story like this. And when you look at it and you're like, well, shit, what the fuck is this? Nobody's talking about this. The media is not talking about it. Nothing. I don't even know where you found this link, to be honest with you. I'm going to click it on just to see it. Yeah. Doesn't really exist here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless podcast or a CNN or a Fox or something like this is talking about it, I don't think most people know about this shit, Dan.
No, they don't, but it's pretty easy to fucking find out about it, isn't it?
It is. But man, this isn't going to change anything. Nothing for these fucking people.
No, I wouldn't imagine so. I mean, I don't know how you even confront somebody like this.
I don't either. The only thing that I can think of, truthfully, is if you took a stand against the country as a whole, which is typically what the United States does in situations like this, right?
Right.
I mean, even Vietnam or whatever, World War II, Vietnam. You're going against, communism in Vietnam because you were worried that, all right, we got to protect Vietnam because we don't want them to become a communist country. Same thing with the fucking Bay of Pigs and all that shit. Like World War II, you're obviously worried about Hitler and everything else. How is this any different? Like in today's world, if you've got concentration camps going into a country that we do trade deals with on a fucking daily basis, when look, we with North Korea, they had concentration camps and all that shit, and we cut them off. Why are we not, as a country, just cutting off China all the way around and making our own shit here?
Well, I'll tell you why.
I don't get it.
I discussed the whole thing on American Party earlier, and if you weren't able to watch that, if you're on the audience now, I highly recommend watching and sharing it. But in it detailed some of the companies. One we've spoken about before, MVM Inc., a new one, Southwest Keys program that are making billions and billions of dollars off of profiteering. They're profiteering off of these children, these illegal immigrant children, and in the process, they're being trafficked, they're being abused, and the government and big business are all involved in it. So that's how. No one gives a fuck. No one cares anymore. No one that's in power gives a fuck about how any of this is going to go down. All they care about is getting theirs. That's all it's about. It's getting theirs, whether it's money, ego, attention, whatever the fuck it is, some kind of validation. That's all they care about. Even when it's like we don't have the right in this country right now to chastise China for what they're doing because of what we're actively doing to children here. That's just how it is. So the expectation that we would fucking hold China accountable is ludicrous to me, because the United States isn't what we think it is. The United States is a country where children are being victimized and the government and taxpayers are paying for it. That's where we live right now.
Yeah, and there was another thing that they passed. Biden got rid of the Trump thing for not letting you have to stay in your own country. He was not letting people out of Mexico who were coming up through other countries to seek asylum. Now Biden says, hey, it's cool if you come in. Like, we got enough kids at the border and all that other shit. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, maybe you're right. Fuck. We're no better here, and people are turning a blind eye. So, fuck it. We'll still keep the dialogue going and talking about these stories. And if you're wondering about American Party, it is on this network. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube. And then very soon it will be on Facebook, probably, because we just got that notification today. Which, shit, might as well roll into that story as well. Facebook is getting into podcasts now. Your favorite podcasts will now be available through your fan pages that you follow on Facebook. I was chatting with Giorgio a little bit about it before we got on air. I thought they would ask for like an RSS feed or something. They didn't. I guess they already know what it is, which is a fun thing. And all you had to do was click, yes, I agree. There was also another follow-up email that I got, Dan, that said, will you also have the option to add clips?
Mm-hmm.
And let us take clips from you and post those as well. We clicked yes on all of them. So if you're a person out there that likes to listen to podcasts on Facebook or watch videos on Facebook, you will be able to do that now, and that is coming June 22nd. To me, I don't know if this is late to the game for them or if this is the right time. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, it's Facebook's been bad about this. Everything they do reeks of desperation. So remember when Facebook Watch came out and it fucking fell flat and it almost went away, and then they spent a shit ton of money trying to. They pay even recently they paid
Post Malone
for the beer
show.
pong thing, but they paid a bunch of content creators for a bunch of content, and then it all just kind of went away, which means they didn't do it right. Facebook's good at stealing your data. They're not good at managing their community, and they're not good at generating content. They're good at generating conversations, which was fine for a while until they started trying to monitor and censor the conversations. Then people got mad and they took their conversations elsewhere. And with it, they took their eyeballs elsewhere. And with that, the content creators took their fucking content somewhere else. Now they're just trying to pay for content again. That's it. Because they need you on their site so they can collect your fucking data. That's all it is.
So, yeah, with this and everything that's happening with it, is that it? Just a simple data grab?
I've said this a million times. Amazon loses money shipping shit to your house. They make all of their money on Amazon Web Services. Data is worth more money than any product anybody will ever create, ever. All these fucking billionaires, they didn't make all the new billionaires over the last 20 years. They didn't make $1 billion because they came up with a cool new car design or because they came up with this or that product. Elon Musk made $1 billion because he created PayPal. Right? It's tech. Mm-hmm. It is tech and it's data. That's it. It's and what that data amounts to is selling it to people who leverage that data to sell you shit or using it internally to sell you shit. That's all it is. That's all this whole game has all been about.
Yeah, them and Apple. That was the other one I wanted to chat about today with Apple. So Apple's going to have this Patreon-ish type feature where you can pay for extra shows and all that other shit. For now, we're going to stick with Patreon for all of our aggressive shit, but they're trying to do it as well. They're trying to get an original podcast as well. I wouldn't be surprised, just thinking about this out loud, if Facebook starts to try to buy media companies to do things like this. Fuck, if they didn't censor people, sure. But I don't see that not happening. The question will be will they censor your episodes from your fan page now, I guess? And I don't know that answer.
Well, what do you think? Of course they are. They censor private groups that people outside the group can't even see. So why the fuck would they let public information go unchecked? That will never, ever happen.
So then how long, let's do an over-under with mybookie.com, promo code Drinkin Bros, double your deposit, and see how long they stop playing our podcast on their fucking public pages.
Yeah, I would say 15, 20 seconds into the first episode, probably. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Hold on real quick about this, guys, because this is something pretty interesting that you brought up. Like, Apple is, yes, offering a subscription service now. YouTube is doing it as well. It's very similar to how all these different places are offering crypto. Everyone wants your fees, just like your data. So like every platform is offering a subscription model to allow creators to then monetize their audiences, but then they're going to skim from the top. So everyone is fighting between themselves to skim from the top on the money, just like all the different exchanges that make it super easy for you to buy crypto, cost you those exchange fees, and they skim from the top as well. So it's a combination of both. Like, they're fighting for your data and they're also fighting for your fees. And I think, with these companies being so big, that's how, they'll make extra millions.
Yeah. And look, with us, we agreed to it. We're going to put them up there and allow them to do it. We don't care where you're listening to our podcast, just that you're listening in general. So if you enjoy, Facebook, because maybe because they own Instagram, it'll be connected through that. we're going to do it because we don't really care where this goes. And, people have stolen our RSS feeds in the past and uploaded them to different places and pirated and all that shit. It is fine with us. We do not care. Our advertisers pay us to keep the show on the air and everything else. And we are unbelievably grateful for that. So the more listeners, the better, and whatever they fucking do with the data. Congratulations, because we can't fucking stop it anyways. Speaking of stopping things, next up is the beef. Where is it? Where's the beef? Sorry, had to. Terrible joke.
I think it said Arby's. They say we have the meats or some shit, right?
Yeah, it's Ving Rhames. We have the meats.
Oh, well, he also got raped in Pulp Fiction, so I don't know how much we can even trust him.
Boy, that was a brutal one for me. That was the first time I saw a man get
I'm
raped
pretty
on
fucking far
screen.
from okay. Right?
Yeah.
That's what he said after he got butt fucked by that Gimp dude.
I will never forget it. To me, that's the first time I saw a man get raped on screen, and it haunts me to this day.
It was
not a
pretty
fan.
brutal. Yeah, and actually, you didn't see Deliverance before Pulp Fiction?
No, I saw it afterwards. It was one of those things where I popped it on, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, man, this movie is about 3.5 hours long, Deliverance," and I was like, shit. All right, well, I'll get to it. That's a chore for me. I don't like to go into a 3.5 hour movie like The Irishman. I was with you. I forget which one of you, Fake Dan or somebody, said that the movie's too fucking long. Yes, it was, and it took me a while to labor through that fucking thing.
Well, it wasn't even the length of the movie. It was watching a 78 to 400-year-old Robert De Niro, hard to tell, try and rough some dude up on the sidewalk. It was the uncanny valley for me. Forget about CGI and how you felt about Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
This bullshit where this fucking elderly man trying to rough somebody up was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. And then knowing how much of an absolute cuck Robert De Niro is in real life, I was like, yeah, that's about what it looks like. That's what I expected him to look like when he was trying to fight somebody. Fuck that guy.
By the way, he claims that the reason why he has to do all these shitty movies now, and he did say they were shitty, so this is not me saying it, is that he's still paying for an ex-wife and she's bleeding him dry. Sorry, Bob. But these ransomware attacks keep increasing. Now it's the world's largest meat processing company. Again, after being hit with a cyber attack, JBS claims the attack came from a ransomware gang known as Revel. And that's a REVIL. So is it part rebel, part evil? Whatever it is, that's a fun, flirty name. They operate out of Russia. Big surprise. Late Tuesday, JBS said that it had made significant progress in dealing with the cyber attacks, aka they probably paid a ransom, and expected the majority of its plants to be back online before the end of the week. The attack affected several thousand servers supporting JBS's operations in North America and Australia, but backup servers were not affected, and the company doesn't believe any customer data had been promised. We chatted about this a little bit earlier in the week, Dan. I find it odd that Biden wanted to get rid of meats. Magically, there is this. There was a gas shortage because of a ransomware, and he wants electric vehicles and all this shit. I don't know what's next. This morning, though, on CNBC, one of the anchors, because I watched their Squawk on the Street in the morning with Jim Cramer and the boys, and to get going, they were saying, look, man, this is all fun and games for right now, and you can pay a ransom in a couple days. What everyone is worried about, though, is when does somebody go after a banking institution like a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America, where literally everyone has all their money digitally stored on?
Right. Well, I mean, that is certainly something to be concerned about. But what I'm concerned about is when an entity that doesn't care about money has the capability to do this, when there isn't a ransom to be paid, when the act is in itself the means, or the means is the end, right? The shutting down is the purpose. That's what we should really be worried about. Like bank accounts are bank accounts, right? Whatever, but that would suck for sure. But it's still a ransom. What happens? And it's a ransom that is federally insured, by the way, by the FDIC. So it would cause economic panic. Absolutely.
Oh,
What
dude.
happened? What-
So one of the guys on the show this morning was saying, look, your money is insured up to $250,000. There was 3 people on this panel who all looked at that guy with just fear in their eyes going, whoa, dude, we have more than $250,000 in our bank account. That's not going to cover it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when shit gets really fucking dicey. And you're right, man. That is a massive fear. When do you get one of these, V for Vendetta motherfuckers who just, or a Fight Club guy who's like, you know what? We just want to fucking watch the world burn. We don't really give a shit about a ransom. That's what I worry about. And fuck, look, we have ExpressVPN and all that other shit. But if you're hacking these massive servers like this, one has to think that's got to be next, right? Or the market itself, the stock market itself. What would happen in a case like that when it's all digital? And I know this is the reason why everybody's switching money over into crypto, and I think it's smart, but is that a possibility? Shit, Giorgio or Fake Dan, you guys know more about that than I do. Are you less likely to get attacked crypto-wise because you're on the blockchain?
I mean, probably. I mean, who actually knows?
Great answer, Fake Dan, and that's why you're here, to give us that hard-hitting insight that we come to expect and love.
Ross, you're talking about like everything's been digital. Like all your money sitting in a bank when you log in to look at things is digital. Like you don't have the money anymore. The digital aspect, the digital aspect of it is to reference
fucking safety deposit box. Not a lot, but enough that if shit got bleak, I have it. I don't think a lot of people do that.
But basically what I'm saying, as soon as you have digital access to tangible goods, it has already become digital.
Yeah.
So whenever Merrill Lynch had a website in which you could trade things off of, whenever any of this, like it became digital for the purpose that you're saying, as it can be hacked, it can be manipulated, you can be impersonated, your account can be taken over. So we're already there. Like, there's nothing really to worry about in the future. Like, your cars have Wi-Fi in them already. So if there is a malicious attack on all your onboard computers of your cars, they could literally shut them down now. If people wanted to, they could hack into your car via its Wi-Fi, via some sort of satellite system, or get somewhere close to it and shut it down. I mean, it's closed. There are closed systems, and they're made proprietary by the companies, and supposed to be only issued by Chevy and like whoever else. That's why like the diagnostic tools are super hard and super annoying to go onto right now, and you have to take your car into a certain dealership for them to even check out what's going on with it. That's a layer of protection built into this, if that kind of makes sense, because like theoretically, like these kind of attacks are possible. So like we're already there.
Yeah, and the whole cash thing is good for you for a short time, right? Maybe for 7 days to 3 weeks, maybe. If you save enough cash for that amount of time, if the attack only hits you, if the attack hits the entire financial infrastructure, then that paper money you have is fucking useless. You would be better off using it to start a fire to keep your fucking family warm or cook some food at that point.
So, and here's where I'm going with all of this. Do you think it happens in the future relatively soon?
I don't know if it happens or not, but I'm pretty sure it would. Yeah. Like people are certainly going to try. Fuck. Like some asshole, some fucking Fight Club fan, some Chuck Palahniuk fan is going to try to destroy financial institutions as the Great Reset. Right? There are these people who are obsessed with the income and wealth inequality. And I'm not saying it's not real. It certainly is. The top 1% of the top 1% own about 50% of all the wealth in this country. Right?
Shit.
So those people aren't very popular, but for some reason we keep electing them to office. You know what I mean? Like in theory, they're not very popular, but they become heroes when it's funny how nobody wants to hear celebrities talk politics until they agree with them. And then they're like, see, they fucking believe it. You're full of shit. All you people are full of shit. You got to move past this nonsense and get out of it, man. I mean, it is. I would say that it is likely something like this happens. Yes,
we're protecting ourselves from that though. Like the disconnected nature of everything. Each company having their own system, like everything being distributed that way, is a level of safety. That
it's the same thing with U.S. Energy Grid. So the U.S. Energy Grid, you would have to launch 9 separate styles of attacks are 3 separate styles of attacks on 9 facilities inside the United States, all concurrently, 6 of which would have to be done physically
And
to knock out the entire energy grid for the country. It's pretty much impossible unless you had a fucking standing army inside the United States to do it.
And finance is the same way. There are people monitoring these networks, monitoring these servers constantly. They have entire data teams set to monitor them and plans in place for if something like this happens. Like, they have people testing their systems constantly. I mean, that's what the World Hacker Conference is for every year. Is they try to break these systems, then they sell it to the companies and say, hey, I broke into it. Here's what you need to do to replace it and repair it to make it even better. And as the technology grows, the people fighting, the good hackers, the white hats, you would say, are doing that to keep the systems level because they understand what kind of catastrophic, issues these could cause. So they're trying to stay ahead of it. Yeah, and it's repair at that point. It's more how much money does it cost to get us back up to where we were? I don't think we really are in that grave danger of an attack that will set us back that far. Like, I think there could be an attack on this. Like, someone definitely will try it. I think people try it all the time. It's just I don't know how successful they will be at like really wrecking our system.
It would the scale of the operation would have to be so massive. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it without somebody catching wind. Because I mean that would be again, you would have to attack every major financial institution on Earth all at the same time.
Well, look, there was a 60 Minutes piece a couple months ago that's talked about Russian hackers had penetrated the system to a point where it was at a level they've never seen before, and they're not even close to repairing all the damage for it. And it's just replicating this thing that keeps going and going and going. If you're doing a story like that publicly, you're worried about something. I just don't know what that something is. That's why I thought I would ask.
Or you're trying to create some Or you're trying to create some fear and panic in the market, right? The government's MO is to create panic and fear so they have something to save you from. That's all it is. That's all government is.
They run these stories when they want to run these stories to change the consensus. So, like, it's the same thing we were talking about with crypto. Whenever the market's down, they run the stories about how all these countries are banning Bitcoin, and when the market's up, they're all about, oh, here are the new uses you're going to use for it. It's just it's validating your point with the news.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, it's a never-ending cycle. Something else that's never-ending is ghostbed.com/drinking bros. Never-ending 30% off sale. I don't know how much longer they can do this. I don't know how much longer they're going to be a company if you keep doing this. But it's good for you guys. Shit. I'm using my own goddamn promo codes. Got some more sheets the other day. Ghostbed.com/drinking bros. 30% off. Sheets, mattresses, pillows, adjustable bases, everything. Right now, you're getting 2 free pillows with a mattress. And these guys are still fucking at it, dude. 30% off. I know they're in Costco. Okay, I know that. I see them. I've gotten some screenshots from you guys. I'm telling you not to buy it in Costco because you're not going to get 30% off. So just, dude, do the right thing. Go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros today and get yourself a mattress. Bundle it all together and use the 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there. If you have decent credits. Somebody hit me up and said they had terrible credit and they didn't get that discount. So I'm sorry. I apologize to you. I did not know. But for the rest of you, use it. There's a running calculator on the side. It'll tell you how much you get every month. Go to ghostbed.com/drinking bros today. Next up, Fauci Dog releasing that book. And now he's got a Disney-backed documentary. Chatted about this a little bit the other day, but we got more info on it today. The book is called Expect the Unexpected, 10 Lessons on Truth, Service, and the Way Forward. It's a long title. The 80-page book. Is it 80 pages?
Yeah. The title is like the first 15 pages, I think.
Yeah, it's
and the rest of it is all written in crayon because that's about how smart this fucking retard is.
The title is going to be available in paperback, and then the rest of this 80 pages is going to be in hardback.
Yeah. The overview of the book states, the earnest reflections in these pages will offer a universal message on how to lead in times of crisis and find resilience in the face of disappointment and obstacles. Look, now I understand that if you wrote it and are marketing it, you have to say something nice about it. But if you're in PR, you don't want to go too far. You know what I mean? Like you want to, if your client is a piece of shit, you're not trying to push them all the way up to awesome. You're just trying to make them not quite as big a piece of shit. Because if you go all the way to awesome, people are like, well, that's demonstrably untrue. They've made a critical mistake here by trying to paint this guy as some kind of credible source of information. He has been a piece of fucking shit for a long time. You know how in 1994, Magic Johnson announces he has AIDS. Excuse me.
HIV.
Well, yeah, whatever, HIV. So he announces he has HIV. No longer allowed to play in the NBA because players are worried that they can get it from him from physical contact. Do you know where that came from? That idea.
Dr. Fauci?
Dr. Anthony Fauci in 1983. That's where that came from in a paper that he wrote and promoted. All right.
Was he right? Was he right in that, Dan? I don't know the answer.
No.
Ah, weird.
No.
Weird.
So
Okay,
all the
cool.
hate,
I just wanted to double check.
all
So he was
the-
wrong on that as well?
All the hate against the gay community, the fact that Ronald and Nancy Reagan actively campaigned against them, against the gay community that was more at risk for this than anybody else, all of that shit is because of Dr. Anthony Fauci. He's been lying and then trying to cover up for it for 40 fucking years. And for some reason, he's still a media darling. Well, no longer, motherfucker. I mean, everybody's pretty much caught wind of this shit now. The book has the pre-sales of the book have been pulled for some reason. I don't know why. And to address it out of the gate, he will not make any money off of this. Is what
No,
I, is
neither
what I'm
did
told.
Cuomo. Let me look it up. Is that true? The pre-sales have been pulled? I can tell you that answer
Yeah,
if that's true.
they were pulled
Let me go
yesterday, but I don't know why.
I'll know why if I let me look it up on Amazon.
I believe it said that it was that the pre-sale was started in error, but there's a lot of steps to make something like that happen. So it wasn't an error. They pulled the pre-sales because they don't want people going on Amazon and writing reviews for it right now.
That is true. Yeah, dude, I don't even see this fucking book here, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to spell out all 90 words in the fucking title, but what do we got? Oh, he's got a child's book too. That's right. How a boy. Oh my God. The child's book, if you want it for your kids, is Dr. Fauci. How a boy from Brooklyn became America's doctor. That's fucking ballsy. I'll tell you that, dude. When you start calling yourself America's doctor. I don't see this book listed anymore.
No, it's not listed.
Wow.
It's not.
So if you're unlisting it, right? Right. Now that I know what this is and I'm looking at it and it's unlisted, I think it's the emails. I think it's the emails that came out, and I think the publisher's probably taking a second look at this, saying, do we publish this book or not? Are we going to be in the same situation that we got into with Cuomo?
Right.
Because we saw the numbers on Cuomo. They paid $5.1 million for this book. It has sold 45,000 copies.
Yeah.
Doesn't sniff even one of mine. And like, dude, I think there's probably a discussion going on, because the way these payments work is you get one upon signing, one upon release of the hardback, one upon release of the paperback, and one upon completion of the manuscript itself. Usually comes in chunks of 4. If they're pulling it now, there could be serious discussion behind the scenes to say, let's just get out of here with what we paid him and move on with our lives. Because if we release this fucking thing and it bombs, dude, we're gonna owe him a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
So maybe the emails that got released this
Probably.
week on the Freedom of Information Act were enough to be like, turns out this guy's been right about nothing.
Or maybe they don't want the bad press affecting the rest of their publications. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've already, the publishing industry in general already has a pretty bad reputation about censoring out, not just the publishers themselves, but the people who curate the bestseller list, the people who fucking market them, the media and who they promote have all demonstrated a deep left-leaning bias, right, over the years. And not just left-leaning bias, but which is bad enough, but they've also demonstrated the will to actively censor and box out anything they don't agree with, which, you know, seems like a bad idea for media, but who knows? Unclear yet whether he's going to discuss his role in illegally funding gain-of-function research and how that led to what likely happened in China, which is that a virus escaped from the Wuhan lab and then affected the entire world. Unlikely that he'll fucking cover that in this book.
No, look, Dan, the book is only 80 pages, and that's just not enough.
What if the back,
really cover that?
The last page in the book is just him like this, and it says, oops. And that's how he deals with it.
This was actually, by the way, a not Arrested Development, Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Jason Alexander writes a book, but it's only like 80 pages, and Larry David refuses to call it a book. He's like, it's more of a pamphlet.
Magazine.
It's more of a, yeah.
Like, how many pages is in a Maxim? Isn't it like fucking 80-some pages?
Dude, it might be 100.
Yeah, it's more than that.
If it's not at least 130 pages, I say it's not a book.
It's a pamphlet. It's a pamphlet.
Yeah, or a children's book, you know? Like, that's children's book, you're looking at 30 pages probably. So you're just above a children's book at that point. You might as well buy his children's book if you're going to buy this piece of shit.
Speaking of pieces of shit, I've really got to take note. Somebody said, I'm looking for it here now. I lost it. Somebody said, America's doctor. Oh, Bill Schofield. Speaking of pieces of shit, America's doctor is Dr. Dre. I agree with that.
Same. I was unaware though that Still Dre was ghostwritten by Jay-Z until I watched that show the other night.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Jay-Z is incredible. Fucking A. I didn't know he wrote Still Dre. The entire thing, by the way.
What is this fucking lunatic talking about? Obama discovered that Eva, that's Eva Braun, fucking Hitler's girlfriend, sister Gretel replaced her in 1935. Get the fuck out of here, man.
That's awesome.
I mean, maybe. Who knows what happened, but you don't have any fucking proof of that shit. Shut up. Dumb.
Next up, Dan, we got a Burbiz event happening. Where and when is that going down?
It's June 10th, 2021, from 4 to 8 p.m. Central at The Brick at Blue Star Arts Complex City in San Antonio, Tejas. Burbiz hosts these networking events for veterans, military spouses, first responders, and business professionals. Attendees network with Fortune 500 business leaders, TED Talk speakers, Medal of Honor recipients, professional athletes show up a lot, military leaders, TV and social media personalities, veteran celebrities, etc. Meetup stations throughout the venue highlight valuable resources such as job assistance, branding strategies, legal resources, access to capital options, fitness, wellness, etc., etc. So they set up stations around the room. If you're somebody looking for a job, you can go talk to people that are doing that. If you're looking for capital or business ideas or strategy, whatever it is, you can do that. The most important part is that Burbiz has an open bar, and that's pretty much it. So it's their tagline is "Come for the networking and resources, stay for the camaraderie," which I read as "Stay for the blackout."
Yep. Yeah.
Which I like.
Stay for the blackout. What time does it start, Dan?
4 p.m. on June 10th. Actually, Scott's going to be in the studio next week on. Hold on, let me see. Can't remember which day. I think it's on Thursday. I think it's on Thursday. No, it's on Tuesday next week. So we'll do a live show Tuesday the 8th next week, and Scott Davidson himself will be here.
Oh, awesome! Fuck.
Yep.
And we can chat about it with him, and then ask him why he decided on an open bar, and is he aware of how much that's going to cost? That is pricey.
Well, luckily they have a couple of different booze sponsors. I think Heroes Vodka is one of them. So,
oh, great.
The open bar isn't like at a bar. It's booze that they're bringing in. But the booze is good. I've been to them before, and I've been drunk at a number of these things. Jack Mandeville will be there. I expect that Jason Murph will be there from Grill Your Ass Off. He's usually at these things. Omar shows up sometimes. Clint Romachet sometimes. I don't know. And Angry Cops. A lot of people come to these. I just don't know who exactly is coming to this event. You can find out next Tuesday when Scott's here himself. He'll tell you.
Yeah, have him on the show, and then and we'll ask everything and all the things. That way, in case one of your favorite people's there too, and you want to come, obviously go to that. They help
if you just
a lot of people, and they've been doing a lot of great shit for years and years and years.
They have. Yeah, Scott's a good dude. If you just want to show up and throw acid in Jack Mandeville's face,
yeah, feel free to do that.
Yeah.
By the way, we've gotten all your messages on Jack's character of Chet. I would like to extend this to the sports channel and have Chet give his picks on Friday afternoon, just called Chet's Picks.
Yeah.
Do not gamble on them.
I think we need to do
what if he ends up getting them all right?
He probably will. The only person that's ever gotten a perfect fucking score on the, what do you call it? God damn it.
Football?
No, on college basketball. What the fuck's it called? Why am I blanking on this?
On the bracket?
On the bracket, yeah. The only person ever in ESPN history that had a perfect bracket was some woman who chose based on the color of the uniforms or some shit, or the mascots, like who would win in the mascot matchup.
We say that all the time on our college basketball show is if you really want, like, don't take our advice on the bracket, just follow, like, Jane the secretary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you certainly got a better chance like that. But I think we should do a full-on biopic of Chet Scoveland. Really talk about his time on the Buffalo Bills practice squad, what led up to that, his transition to a long-haul truck driver, and how that's affected him, and where he is now and what he's doing now.
And then I think we'll do like maybe a 10 or 15 minute segment called Chet's Picks during the football season. He'll just give you the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Bills only pick,
right?
And tell you why for about 10 minutes. Next up, things keep catching on fire in Iran. The largest warship in the Iranian Navy caught fire and sank into the Gulf of Oman on Wednesday. The fire started around 2:25 a.m. and firefighters were unable to contain the blaze in time to save the vessel. 400 sailors were on board, but all were able to evacuate, with 33 suffering minor injuries. There we go, Ross. Hours later in Tehran, another fire broke out at an oil refinery when a leak at a liquid gas pipeline burst into flames. This has got to be on purpose, Dan. Is this on purpose?
The report says that there's no evidence of foul play, but I'll tell you what there is. There's an issue in Israel right now. They're getting a lot of heat from the international community for how they're dealing with this Palestine shit, which is nothing new, by the way. So the more likely culprit is that Bibi is getting forced out after 15 years in leadership. And he's probably trying to create, my guess is, I'll say it that way, that he's trying to create some kind of drama. Iran's going to think this was Israel and start fucking talking shit or attacking or something. And that way you need the fucking wartime general in there, because that's who he is. He's a war hero from the fucking 6 Days War. So I think that's probably what he's trying to hang on to power right here, if I had to guess. But Israel is always fucking around in Iran. If you remember Stuxnet, that was a worm, piece of code that what we believe happened is the NSA gave it to Israel. Israel put a guy in that fucking nuclear facility in Iran, and they fucking installed it, ran it, melted down the reactor. That's what happened. So, you know what I mean? If a dog comes back to my house with claw marks on his face, I assume it was a cat. Yeah. And if shit starts catching on fire in Iran, I assume it was Israel. Come on, man. What the fuck are we talking about here?
I agree. And yes, whoever said Ross is going full Biden today, for sure. This has been a long time away, and hopefully I can get on this flight tomorrow and get back to Texas safely with the fam.
Yeah, bring some Adderall when you come, by the way.
What's up?
Bring Adderall when you come, because you're going to need it. Like if you're that's what they're pumping Biden full of.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I'm on, like to get to keep this going right now.
Yeah,
because you and I are going Miami the day after.
We're going to Miami.
Yeah, it's the weirdest shit of all time. I'm uncomfortable with the fact that we're going to be watching a live fight on a Sunday night. That doesn't make any sense to me. I was actually going to bring someone with me, but there is no point, because every human being on earth has to work on fucking Monday. Why in the hell did they do this shit?
It's the first fight ever on a Sunday. It has definitely thrown off everyone's schedules. And then Chad Ochocinco fighting on the undercard is worth all of it. So
yeah, we'll
be there.
That's true.
And if you're there, shout us out. We'll be I know we're staying in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we're staying near the marina in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to go out to dinner Friday evening, and then we're going to go out
Saturday evening.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
We'll be out somewhere in that area Saturday evening, and then we're gonna fucking hit the town with Mr. Chuck Liddell.
Yes.
See if we can't get weird.
So come
On a
and
Sunday
join us
night,
if you're
though,
in the
so
Fort
who knows?
Lauderdale area. We'll
Or Saturday
post
night.
somewhere of where
Yeah.
we're at.
Yeah.
Follow us on. Actually, go to Drinkin Bros Instagram. We'll post a picture of where we are.
Ruben
You
Schneider
wanna
wants to
come out
know
and
if
drink
we're
with us
staying
Fort
in
Lauderdale.
Ruben Schneider wants to know if we're staying in Reed's trailer park. The last time I saw Reed in Florida, it was midday at a brewery, and he blacked out so hard that he had to sell his fucking college football tickets. So at least he had the wherewithal to sell the tickets before he left and went home and passed out. I do give him credit for that.
So do I. And it was at Tactical Brewery,
Yeah.
our partners in the Seltzer Company.
Yep.
Shout out to Doug and Chris. And for those asking, it appears we're on track for the Seltzer to be released in August or early September. So it's fucking coming up.
Yeah,
Jesus
it is
Christ.
very soon.
Yeah,
it'll be
super stoked about
ready
that.
for Craig Dulesky's wedding for sure.
Oh my God.
Which again, that was a mistake to invite us to that. I just want to be clear about that. It was a mistake for you to invite us to that. It was a mistake, Bob, for you to invite me to your goddamn your baby shower. I don't know. You don't invite men to baby showers. First of all, that's weird. You don't invite single men to baby showers. Now I know you just sent the invite so I would get the registry and buy you something. You fucking piece of shit. But it is still weird. You could have just sent me the link to the registry. You didn't have to go through all this trouble.
I just like you.
It makes me really uncomfortable that a man invited me to a fucking baby shower.
I just think you're cool.
I'm killing myself tonight. I've been looking for a reason. You know how some people are like, oh, it's fucking Friday, let's get drunk. I've been looking for a reason to blow my goddamn brains out, and here it is.
Well,
I'm going to show up to your baby shower and be like, oh, good, bam. Just right there in front of all your fucking friends and family. How funny would that be?
That'd be pretty rad. I'm not
That'd be
gonna
the
lie.
best thing that ever happened to any of you motherfuckers. Like that would be the best story of all time. Nobody has ever done anything like that before. Like, how would you even explain that to your child?
I'd be like a life for a life.
Yeah. You see the fucking, the baby sees its baby pictures like, oh, where did that nice fucking cradle come from? Oh, that was Dan. He killed himself at the baby shower.
Really, the only reason I'm against this is because I'm afraid your soul's gonna jump into my wife's stomach, and then like I'm gonna have like a Damien situation, but it's with you.
Can you imagine my mind and a baby? Oh my God, dude. I would get away with so much shit.
I would love to see all the blood all over the gifts. Like, I mean, everywhere. Because usually baby showers are like white, or, Bob's having a boy, so it's going to be that Carolina blue color. That red blood would be so thick on all those gifts, you'd have to fucking burn them.
That would be fucking really funny.
Well, I mean, if they're wrapped, it's fine.
Look, Bob, you want to fucking tear the blood off?
Yeah, I'm going to wait until all the packages are opened. Then I'm going to go over there, shit my pants, and blow my fucking brains out.
Wait, well, you shit your pants if you blew your brains out.
Technically, that is correct.
You just need to bend. You need to bend over, and then like at the gifts. I don't know. You can figure it out.
Maybe I'll put a funnel up my butt. That way it'll spray out in a fucking cone shape.
Yeah, I think that's optimal.
I've always had this idea. You remember the Play-Doh Fun Factory? I've always wanted to screw those little attachments onto my beehole and then shit out stars and rainbows and shit. I don't understand why I can't do that.
Nothing stopping you.
Well, I mean, I can't because you don't have the female, like I don't have threads on my butthole. I don't know if you've got a suppressor on yours, but there isn't one on mine.
All right, so I think we need to hit up Krill. It's some sort of cookie cutter shape.
He
with
would
a
make
butt
that for
plug,
sure, yeah.
And then, but it has to be like a hollow butt plug. That way, the turd can still come out, and then, like as it expands, it gets cut by the cookie cutter.
They certainly do make those. There's hollow butt plugs that hold your butthole open and your orifices open.
Those are for a gerbil.
I mean, it's for what it's for, Giorgio. I don't care about that.
I'm not shaming. I'm just saying it's for a gerbil, and we all need to know that.
If you add one more piece to it, like an insert into the hole that you've created that snaps in, like a pasta maker, right? Now you're cooking with fire.
Like, so you're saying magnets. We need like a magnet.
I didn't say magnets, all right? Stop bringing magnets into everything.
For interchangeability. Like some days you want Christmas trees, some days you want stars, depending upon the time of season.
Well, my understanding was it wouldn't be a permanent fixture in my butthole. I'm not comfortable with that. This is a once in a while thing, all right? I'm not trying to fucking start a new religion here.
No, but halfway through, like, pooping a few out, you're like, maybe I want to like try to make a scene in the toilet. Say you got two trees and you hit a rainbow over top of that. I don't know I'm trying to put limits on your artwork.
Now you've gone full Bob Ross. All right. I don't need this. I don't need the responsibility of living up to that. I'm just trying to shit weird shapes. That's it.
And by the way, Timmy D is saying here, is Dan's first line to Bob's wife at the baby shower going to be, congratulations on your cream pie?
Yeah, probably. What else would you say to somebody? Like, people have been having kids. since there have been people. So it's not like you accomplished anything. You just didn't pull out. Things worked as they were meant to work. You know what I mean? I don't stand on the sidewalk and congratulate people for putting one foot in front of the other. So you're not getting congratulations on your baby, man. Fuck that shit.
But is it even a cream pie? A cream pie is like a picture of a baby eating spaghetti and their face is all orange. Like it's on the outside, you know? Like it's.
Oh my God. Why would you say that?
Oh, God.
That's worse than anything I've said so far.
Finally, a good
Son of a
reason to get
bitch.
vaccinated.
The fuck?
For whatever Rob just said is the reason to get vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah. That it'll sterilize his ass so you don't have to deal with this shit again.
Oh, boy. Anheuser-Busch has just announced that they will be giving away free beer if 70% of U.S. adults are vaccinated by July 4th.
I'll
The
guarantee
company
you
is
that's
offering
happening.
one free beer to adults 21 and over as soon as the CDC announces that the White House's vaccination goals have been met. Jesus Christ, Ross. How are they really going to know this? Like, for real. You don't even know how many fucking people are here. You
Yeah.
don't even know how many immigrants.
Well, they're
are
not
here
going to
and all
know,
that
but this
shit.
is a safe marketing bet for Anheuser-Busch because they know it's not going to happen, right? They get to play the slightly woke thing, and you know they speak their products speak mostly to probably conservative leaning people, and they've already got that audience. So now to get this other audience without actually having to do anything, they just make this fucking they make this offer that they know they'll never have to fulfill. So there you go.
Yeah, and
Nice
look, they're
Bush
going
hat,
to
by
give
the
you
way.
some form of like virtual card for $5 to do something that nobody ever ends up doing.
Right.
It's kind of like the free taco at
Yeah.
basketball games for hitting 100 points.
Yeah, something like, even with gift cards, something like 33% of people actually use them. So when companies sell gift cards, they usually 3x their profit on that because most
Yeah,
people don't even pay.
That's why you see them in grocery stores
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it is fucking a huge industry.
Next up, AOC can afford a Tesla but can't take care of.
Oh,
her
by the way,
grandma.
there's an even better reason to get vaccinated. West Virginia is like giving out free guns or some shit. Have you heard of that one?
I did. I just caught that story right before we went on air, but it was too fast, and I was like,
Yeah, I don't-
let me read up on this before I start saying the wrong shit.
I don't really know what's going on over there. It's pretty funny, honestly. Free guns for fucking. I mean, shit. I'd consider it. Depends
United
on the
Airlines
gun.
is giving free flights. One winner gets free flights for a year, and 100 other winners get one free flight with a companion.
Why are they pushing this so hard? Why?
I don't
It is-
know.
this is
Bob,
completely
look up the
unnecessary.
West Virginia gun story and read aloud on that one.
Let-
So
let me
I don't
tell
wanna
you-
fuck this up, but I read it right before I came on air.
Let me tell you this. In about 6 months, right? Maybe 4 months, we'll see how the news cycle goes. The federal government is going to start taking credit for all the fucking reductions in COVID infections nationwide. They're gonna somehow say that it was because of the goddamn vaccine. But let me tell you, Texas shut all that shit down back in March. We've had no deaths. Zero. You don't go from fucking whatever they said it was to zero with any vaccine. And people in Texas aren't even getting vaccinated. There's probably like 30% of people here that have been vaccinated. But I promise you, watch this shit unfold right in front of your eyes. These motherfuckers are going to try to create this narrative that the vaccine caused all this reduction in COVID stuff. And it is not true. It's fucking bullshit. Matter of fact, people are still getting it.
Yeah, I was at CVS earlier today, and they were just giving out, free vaccinations to anybody. No one was getting a vaccination there. Zero people inside CVS, and it's free for everyone.
Yeah,
no
why would they?
appointments, No nothing.
Why would they?
Exactly. Bob, did you find that West Virginia gun story?
Yeah. So basically, residents who enter the state's new vaccine incentive lottery will have the opportunity to win prizes such as custom hunting rifles and shotguns, custom trucks, weekend getaways at state parks, which is lame.
Oh, fuck yeah, West Virginia State Park. Yeah, inject me, baby. Get the fuck out of here.
So your fucking reward for getting vaccinated is you have to live in the forest for a weekend?
Yeah, seriously, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Here's a good one, though. Lifetime hunting and fishing licenses.
It's like fucking $30 a year.
It's maybe you just get it mailed to you. You don't have to fucking deal with it. I don't know. But yeah, custom trucks, custom shotguns, and hunting rifles. And those who enter will also be enrolled in an opportunity to win large monetary prizes like a full ride scholarship to any, higher education institution, but in West Virginia. $588,000 is the second place grand prize, which is better than, and the first place grand prize is $1.5 million.
Lifetime hunting, trapping, fishing license in West Virginia costs $570. Suck my dick. You got to come at me harder than that, bitch. Like, even if you gave me $570 worth of drugs, I would at least consider it, but that's not enough.
No, and their higher education thing, it's West Virginia. Like, there is no higher education there.
Right. It's either you go become a mountaineer, you go to Morgantown, or
Yep.
I guess if you really want to punish yourself, you go to Marshall.
Oh, we are.
I'm not doing any of that. Lastly, AOC can afford a Tesla, but not
Take care of her
she
grandmother.
She can't afford to take care of her grandmother. So she was lamenting on Twitter probably that her abuela, or however the fuck you say that word.
Abuela.
Yeah. She
Affluent.
everybody remembers, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, her brand new $70,000. By the way, this is the woman that was a year ago complaining that I can't even afford rent in my own jurisdiction. Like, well, fucking damn, dude. Maybe you should go find a new job. One that doesn't involve killing billions of dollars coming into your community. I don't know. Fuck it. But anyways, she posted a bunch of pictures of her grandmother's decrepit home in Puerto Rico and uses an opportunity to slam Donald Trump, who, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but he's not the president anymore. I don't know why everybody's still talking about him. Like, can you believe Trump did this? Like, well, I mean, he did it like a year ago.
Yeah, he's been out for 6 months.
So what the fuck are you
Been out of
talking
office
about?
for 6 months.
The tweet released on Wednesday showed her grandmother's house suffering from severe water damage, presumably from the fucking hurricanes that come every 6 fucking hours there. I mean, Puerto Rico has been butt fucked like 3 times in the last 10 years. Anyways, this is what she said. This is her home. Hurricane Maria relief hasn't arrived. Trump blocked relief money for PR. Okay, so Trump hasn't been in office for 6 months. How about Biden? Why isn't that money there yet? You've had 6 months to write a check. You know what I mean? Maybe he keeps writing the date wrong because he still thinks it's 1983. Maybe that's it. Maybe they can't cash a check because it's got the wrong year on it. Many people are quick to reply, pointing out that while AOC had enough money to purchase a Tesla for herself and to legally park it outside of a Whole Foods so she can shop at Whole Foods too, she didn't have enough money to send to her grandmother to help repair the home. She's making $174,000 a year, but she still expects taxpayers to shell out cash to take care of her fucking family.
The beauty of AOC's Tesla too is it's the nice one. It's the SUV one. Those will run you about $140,000. So either you blew your entire paycheck on a Tesla once you got into office, or you're financing that bitch. I can tell you the payments on that would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,800 a month for that fucking Tesla. And then look, that's the same price as going into Whole Foods for one meal, $2,800. So if shit is fucked up, it is because of your own lifestyle, AOC. And yes, Donald Trump is gone from office. He's been gone for 6 months. I know it seems strange, but it's been half a fucking year.
Yeah, I mean, she could have bought a car for, I think the one that she has is like 75, the base model is 75,000. I don't know how much. I don't know if she got it. Let's just say it's just 75. She could have bought a fucking Camry, right?
Yeah.
Nissan Murano, like Jack Mandeville drives. It's paid off, by the way, if you're wondering about Jack's Nissan Murano. It's been paid off, so we're all good on that.
And Dan, just like I do, real estate in Puerto Rico, you could buy 6 of those houses for $140,000 in Puerto Rico. No, literally, like when she says developers are coming up and taking ancestral homes, that's because people are literally fleeing them and abandoning them, and they're being overgrown by jungle.
Right.
Because Puerto Rico is basically the jungle and is covered in jungle. And you can tell it's not an ancestral home because the roof on that is wood. And the ceiling on that is wood. Everything in Puerto Rico, if it's like made in Puerto Rico, is made out of concrete because just like Dan says, there are hurricanes every day.
Yeah. I mean, they have several a year. I mean, it's absolute nonsense, man. It's the idea. People are being forced from their ancestral homes. Now, that might be a statement you can make. If we were down there fucking bulldozing neighborhoods like Israel does to Palestine, by the way, I'm not criticizing, not making a judgment, saying that it happens. So If that was happening, maybe she would have some kind of fucking beef. But what is actually happening is that weather is butt fucking this shit. You know what I mean? Like you're having to flee because you no longer have the technology to live there on your own without help. And that's not how we work here. You got to fucking do stuff, man. You got to fucking get with the goddamn times. We don't owe you anything. Just like she said when it came to coal, that we don't owe these people jobs or whatever the fuck she said back then. We don't owe you, your grandmother, her quote unquote ancestral home. I mean, she's 80. What do you mean ancestral home? The fuck are you talking about? We don't owe anybody anything here. You have to do that shit yourself. If anybody owes her, it's fucking you. Because you wouldn't exist without her, you stupid bitch. So maybe stop shopping at Whole Foods. Maybe, I don't know, go somewhere cheaper. What are the grocery stores up there in Manhattan? Go to
you can go to a bodega.
Go to a fucking bodega.
Support your local business.
Yeah, go to a bodega. Shop locally a little bit. Stop spending so much money at Whole Foods, and maybe your grandmother wouldn't be fucking on the government tit. You stupid cunt.
Before we get to the Drinking Bro of the Week, Dan, I want to talk about this Southwest Keys program. I know you guys have been talking about this on American Party. Tell the listeners a little bit more about it, because this is really important.
Yeah, so we talked about it on the American Party episode that was released today. The audio will be out tomorrow, but the video is up now on this channel, so you can go see that now. In the episode, we detail how this company, Southwest Keys, has received billions of dollars from the federal government to house illegal immigrant children over the last 20 years or so. In 2018 alone, they made $646 million, right? Mm-hmm. That's bad. That's really fucking bad that that's happening. The children are being abused. There are multiple cases of rape and physical abuse, including rape by somebody that was HIV positive who was raping little boys. Okay? That's bad enough on its own. But this company has also set up all of these it's a nonprofit organization, by the way. They've also set up an entire system of for-profit organizations where they're funneling money out of the nonprofit directly into the pockets. All the fucking for-profit companies are owned by the board members of the nonprofit. In addition to that, they're loaning out money to a variety of different companies, which they also own, to buy up properties, which they then rent for about 10 times the market value. It is a fucking shell corporation. It is tax evasion. It is misappropriation of federal funds. It's every illegal thing you can do, financially speaking, for a nonprofit or from a business perspective. Plus, they're hurting kids. So I don't know what it's going to take for anybody to give a fuck about this. But we've been in contact with some people in the Texas legislature where this is happening. By the way, the company Southwest Keys, headquartered here in Austin, about 0.6 miles away from our studio. So you should be expecting a visit, folks. We're coming for you. We're going to fuck your shit up. I'm going to light these motherfuckers' worlds on fucking fire.
And I know you've been on Alex Jones, too, on InfoWars talking about this.
Yeah, I'll be back there next week.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring more attention to it before we move on to the Drinking Bro of the Week. This one was submitted by Mike Cronin from Massachusetts. Has been a member of Drinking Bros for 6 months, and he's nominating Jared Mello. Reason for the nomination, he says, I'm nominating my buddy Jared, who's been a Drinking Bro for a lot longer than me, and he's the one that introduced me to the show. I love you guys, and this is my favorite show. Cheers. Yes, look, all of you can go to drinkinbros.com and submit your Drinking Bro of the Week. It comes in live. We don't pre-screen them, right to the mailbox, and then we read it live on air. While you're there, you can get some butter soft teas. We got a ton of merch up in that store.
Yep.
Now,
quite a bit.
And
you'll see us wearing some at the fucking at the fight this weekend. If you happen to be watching Sunday night, you'll also see us holding signs that say AMC stock brought us here. And then you'll see Chuck doing whatever Chuck's going to be doing. You never know with that guy. Like, it's weird. People still, even after all this time, still sometimes challenge. Like that story he told, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it was on the latest episode or maybe 2 episodes ago, where he was talking about how some dumbass DJ at the fucking at the after party for the Kentucky Derby like 2 years ago, I think. Kept talking shit over the speaker, saying like, "Oh, you can fucking punch me in the stomach anytime you want," and he just kept saying it over and over, and being kind of aggressive about it. And then Chuck's like, "You know what? All right, cool. Fuck this guy." Lit him up. Guy fucking folded up onto the ground, and then Chuck's agent was like, "Hey, let's not do that anymore. Let's not even, no matter how much the person asks, don't punch him in the," because the guy tried to sue him afterwards, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. The problem was that the 300 people at the party had all heard him asking for it over the fucking mic. Idiot.
Yeah, he gets a bunch of challenges, surprisingly, in real life, where people are just like, "Hey, man, just punch me in the stomach as hard as you can." And he's like, "No,
yeah, you
no,
don't want
I'm
that.
not going to do that.
You don't want that from anybody. I mean, isn't that how Houdini died? Didn't doctors think that Houdini died because of the cannonballs into his stomach or whatever the fuck? Like, he had so much fucking internal damage from that shit.
He had AIDS, Dan.
That's not true. Houdini did not die of AIDS. It didn't even exist when he was alive, you stupid fuck.
Fact check it. Not sure. By the way, storm's coming here, really bad. But in the meantime, I want to give a shout out to Softcore History. I listened to your show with Jack Mandeville, and it was fucking excellent, you guys. People don't realize how smart Jack Mandeville is in real life. He was really fucking good on Softcore History. So subscribe to it if you're not a listener of that. But you guys did an awesome show with him, man, and it was great. In the meantime, I will hopefully get on a flight tomorrow, but we'll see. There's a lot of lightning coming through the windows right now. So Final Destination's coming for me sooner or later. I just don't know when. D'Anthony, I hope to see you tomorrow evening. We will definitely see you in Fort Lauderdale. And let's fucking rage, dude. Let's rage. AMC got us ringside. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.